viewers, welcome back to another episode of Xcom 2 multiplayer. This time around I screw up, so there's no lobby screen. And yep, this is a little bit bad, but it's fine. This time I'm using a Drumdown Chrysalid Grenadier squad, and this is a friendly match against my friend, my Steam friend that I meet in ranking. He added me after the ranked game, and we do some friendly matches from time to time. So this map is pretty small, and I can't even, and I don't start at the first turn, so I decided to, you have to be a little bit more defensive if you do not start first. And after you move away the unit blocking your Andromedon, Setaport or Gatekeeper, you really want to move them first, because as you can see, you don't actually need to step over the covers to destroy them. Like, both trees on the left hand side get destroyed, and the other tree is not even close to the Andromedon, but it still get crushed. So yeah, if you move your other units first and they randomly step, they don't need to step over, they randomly destroy it, then your unit is out of cover, which is extremely bad. So you want to move them first. And because I expect the enemy to be coming from the top left of the screen or the top side of the screen, so I decided to move one officer to do some possible flanking. And I decided to hide my Grenadier just under the ladder and behind the wall, which make this tile a very good defensive spot. Next turn I can run up and start shooting if needed, or I can keep hiding here. So because this map is pretty small, I would expect contact in the next turn or two. And yeah, I think small maps are too small. You really need to notify the effect of starting first or second by making the map large enough for both of you to dash on first turn, and you cannot fight on the second turn, even if both of you dash on the first turn. I would think that could balance the effect of going first or second. On some maps, if you go first and you dash your units, you basically take over half of the map, which is, again, I said this before a lot of times. If you take over half of the map on the first turn, you basically limit most of your opponent's options. I really think if you are equally skilled, it is extremely hard for you to come back when the enemy take over the map, 50% of the map on the first turn. And unless your squad is outright countering his squad, then yeah, of course you can. And here, because I moved two of my officers and both of them cannot see anything, so my Grenadier is safe to move up, because, and the Chrysalid too, because there's a wall here. Because even if he has a Phantom, he will not be able to get reliable shot on my Grenadier, even if they can see him. if they need a good chance to hit, they will be revealed by my officers. So the grenadier here is very safe. And remember you to use the waypoint system to not just crush through all the walls, because you may need them. You will never know if you will need them a few turns later. So if you can help it, use the waypoint system. And I decided to hide the Dromedon back because now my officers are in position to look over the battlefield, and before they get killed, I can hide my Dromedon safely. There's no point showing an opponent more stuff before you are prepared to fight them, especially when I have no idea what he is using. And because I still see nothing, so there's a possibility that he is having a phantom, or he is playing super defensive. He may even be spawn camping if yeah, spawn camping, yeah, like I said, spawn camping is usually not a good tactic, but I would think that some squad is pretty good at spawn camping, which, yeah, just that I don't like camping doesn't mean it is not effective. It is just a little bit boring. And right here, you can expect Overwatch to hit 50% of the time, around 50. I think it's 53 something, around that number, that you hit something that with the defenses. And right here, this makes me extremely suspicious that he moved back his officer. And this time I know he has a phantom, because if you move back your expandable units, which only means that either you have no idea what you're doing, or you have something else to get the information for you, which by moving back his officer instead of shooting, I know that he has a phantom. So I decided to take the tree cover because they need 2 grenades to blow up. Usually they need 2 grenades to blow up, and the cactus can be blown up with 1 single grenade. Also the little thingy here, even though it's high cover, it can be blown up by 1 grenade. Not to mention, if he is, I suspect he is hiding around the building, he can flank me. That's why this tree here is the best cover for the officer. And I can start moving my unit a little bit closer while the officer is taking the fire. And because my grenadier has several, I prefer to hunker down them from time to time instead of overwatching. Because her surviving is the most important thing. If you just get grenade, which, like I said, almost all squads have a grenadier. If you get grenade and then get shot at, it only takes like 2 shots to kill you if you don't hunker down. Yep. And yeah, I would not be moving there because I do not want to take the chance of the grenade not reaching. But yeah, if you can judge your grenade range very good, then you can take the high cover instead of the low cover here at the wooden plates, the wooden stuff. Yeah, of course, if you know your grenade is reaching, of course high cover is better. But it's just that if you move here and then you find that, oh, my grenade actually is not reaching, then it is pretty bad. Yeah, officers are just ridiculously hard to kill, and for some reason the tree get blown up by one grenade. And yep, he made a mistake by flanking my officer, which gave me a yellow shield. Which I think this kind of information is what you should not be getting, but the game is giving you. Like if the enemy is at the very edge of your sight range, you can see them through walls from time to time, both in single and multiplayer, which I think is information you should not get. And because my Atromodon is not flanked and my officer is flanked, I know he is around here, the cactus, somewhere around the cactus. Because if he is behind me, my Atromodon should also be flanked. So yeah, now I know he is around the cactus, and with easy tile scanning I found him behind the cactus. So now we only need to do is review him. But of course, even though you destroy the cover, they will still be hunkered down, and so it is still pretty hard to hit them. So I decided to pop out my Andromedon and get some height advantage. 70% is good enough for me. And yeah, if you are not ready to strike, do not flank your opponent with your Phantom. They will know where you are. And usually I don't want to use the rocket on officers, because rocket I think is some situations the rocket is even better than the plasma grenades, and sadly my Chrysalid did one more tile to hit. And now we see his gunner because he's not using the advanced launcher and he only has one armor, so that is a gunner. And because he used one of his ammo to shoot the Chrysalid, he cannot use hail of the bullets before he reload. You should keep in mind with that, both when facing a gunner or using a gunner, you don't always want your Overwatch to proc, and he should be reload before he grenade if he decided not to move. This is easily forgotten. Okay, so now the Chrysalid is dead. It's just dead. But the good thing is, again, he need to invest into his grenade. And yeah, this is a good sap. If the sap kills, that's a good sap. If the sap don't kill, unless you are using the AoE sap that you can heavily damage multiple units, then it may be worth it to multi-sap. But this here, he set my officer for 4 health. So what does that achieve? It can make the gunner one-shot him if, and only if, the gunner roll maximum damage. The range is 6 to 8. You need to roll an 8 to kill the officer. Everything else you have, you still need 2 shots, ignoring dodge. Just even without the dodge, you need 2 shots to kill, unless you flank and crate, of course. So I would say that was a waste of sap, but the crystallis sap is a good sap because again, um, the guarantee damage you want to use the killing blow, or you destroy the cover so your whole team can shoot at the target. You don't really want to just damage something with your limited limited abilities, except the exit bomb, because the exit bomb is on cooldown. You can pop out and use the exit bomb, hide, and a few turns later you pop up again to use the exit bomb. But the sap is limited, and the grenades are limited, so using them to just damage but not killing the enemy is a pretty bad thing to do, in my opinion. Like, with 8 health, I can still get hit by an Overwatch and survive. So it is not too big of a difference between 8 health officer and 12 health officer. If there's a 6 health officer, then there's a difference because one Overwatch shot you are dead. But with 8 health, I can run an Overwatch getting hit and still survive. That is the difference. And yep, I decided to get some height advantage and hopefully see somebody, but no, I cannot see anybody, so I have to be kind of defensive because he still has the grenadier, and I am still not sure what item he is using. So I want to be a little more defensive because yeah, Andromedons are usually actually not that tanky, especially when they have a grenadier and officers to shred your armor. You don't exactly have that much health. Alright, so both of us are very cautious at this point because even though I still have my main units, he also still have 2 Xcom soldiers, which the gunner has rupture and the hacker still have a sap. If he uses a sap on if he uses a sap, my Andromedon can safely pop out because he cannot kill me in 1 turn. So I can take risks with the Andromedon. But if his sap is still there, it is likely that like a grenade gets shot by an officer and can get sapped. My Andromedon will be dead. So yeah, before I make him use his sap, I will be playing very cautiously with my Andromedon. And actually, having 2 armor with the Grenadier is also extremely useful in terms of survive. Yep, I see one. And 55% is good enough for me, especially when this officer is at full health and that his officer is 1 shot from dying, so if I hit, it's likely to kill him. And now because I have not enough units, I have to use the Dromedon to Overwatch 2, so I poke out the window here. Earlier I still have like 3 officers to Overwatch, so I have enough Overwatch shots, but now I am a little bit short in terms of units. So I'm okay that the Andromedon, especially when he already know where my Andromedon are and I have an Andromedon, so it is okay for you to uh, peek out the window to help the defensive line. So his officer is there, so I would think his hacker is still behind the tree somewhere. And like I said, I have 8 health. I can run the overwatches. I can get hit once and still survive. And yeah, he still have 1 officer, 1 hacker, and the gunner. And my grenadier is not, yeah, is not far. The grenade range is not far enough to reach them. So again, I need to position myself for the next turn. And there's no point taking a low chance shot to and have 0 chance to kill. Yeah, you can crit. If you can crit the 10% by hitting the 35% shot, you can kill the hacker, but I don't think it's worth the risk. I rather move the officer back and let him fight for next turn. Because if I stay beside the car, there's a dead officer 100%. So either he has to move towards the car, which I can blow it up with the plasma grenade, or he still stay there to defense, so I can keep taking over the maps. So he decided to use scanning protocol and review all of my units, which can help you a lot. And yeah, but I think scanning protocol is worth using earlier, that you review the enemies and plan before you lose too many units, because you can't really do much when you have not enough units, even though you know where the opponents are. So use them earlier is better, I would say. You can hide inside a building or behind a wall to get close to the enemy to do the scan. You don't need to expose the hacker for the scan, because hacker is a very good supporting unit, but if you are caught in a firefight, the hacker is not all that useful. And yeah, like I said, I can survive a hit. Yeah, so all his overwatch is gone. Again, his gunner already used 1 ammo, so again he cannot use hail of bullets or rupture. So I decided to shred and damage the officer a little bit. I should be tracking my shooting range first before I do this, because now my Dromedon need to be out of cover if I want to shoot at him. But still, shredding his armor and damaging him a bit is still okay results, but it would be best if I can kill him with the Andromedon, but nope. he has enough health to survive that. And because even if I crit, I cannot kill him, I decided to do something not not many people would do. I decided to use a plasma grenade to make a vacuum in this area, even though it means I am not hitting the hacker. By doing this, either his hacker need to dash to regroup with the grenadier, or they have to split up because there's no cover in the middle. If they stack at the car, I can exit them both. If they decided to move and do something, then they are split up, so I can focus on one side. And yeah, because my Andromedon cannot see the grenadier, I cannot kill him, so there's no point shooting or grenading that guy. So I decided to destroy all the cover in the middle. So again, either one of them have to dash, so they waste one of their attacking ability, or they have to split up. And because this guy already used one ammo, he cannot use hail of bullets to kill the officer. And this is the thing you need to watch out for when you're using a gunner, or if you are facing a gunner, that rupture and hail of bullets need all of your ammo. And if you shoot, you need to reload to do anything else. And so turns out the grenade limit the ability of him to use hail of bullets. If he is stayed in cover, he can reload and rupture, or use hail of bullets to kill the officer. And because now he decided to split up, which yeah, either way I am in a good position, because either they split up so I can separate them, or they waste one of the soldiers to dash, and yeah, that's the idea. So, and because both of them are disoriented, I decided to hide them both, and he do not have enough firepower, so my Andromedon can be go in to take the focus, and I can start working on the health of the hacker. Like if I did not destroy the covers here, both of them can take a good enough cover and start fighting me, and I will likely be losing the officer at least. But why now? Because there's no cover in the middle. They have to separate. So I can either, depending on how he moves, I can focus on one of their units. And this again is, yeah, you better off just try shooting him, hoping that it will kill, because again, what does a 5 health officer different from a 2 health officer? They both die in one shot, and you cannot zap. Yep. Right now he realized he need to regroup, so he dash, which also means he's not attacking, which is what I wanted to do anyway. And now I still have a grenade. Which is the power of Grenadier. Yeah, they are just way too good. They're simply way too good. suit is extremely good. And now I can move up my Andromedon. He actually, after his officer also died, he simply don't have enough firepower, and I can keep exiting him. Before the exit wears off, if the exit wears off, I can use the exit bomb again. So, yep, yeah. So yeah, now I am in a winning position already. Actually, a long time ago, when I kill his Phantom, I'm in a good advantage. And then when both of his officers died, that's a win. He can't really do much now. I'm still not sure if the Andromedon is using a shotgun or a. It looks like a shotgun, but it also works in range. And because, again, I've no cover over there, and there's no point going towards the tree to overwatch because he will not be moving. He is in a good enough cover. So I decided to push forward. And I hide the Andromedon behind the only remaining wall of the building, while the house is still somehow floating in the air. Yeah, like I said, he has no chance to win now, but if he so desired, he can start fighting, and then I can pop up with the Andromedon to exit him again. Yeah, like I said, it is not always a good choice to just use spam your AoE into all of their units. Sometimes denying the covers is a better choice if you cannot kill the enemy um, with the grenade anyway. If you can kill, of course you want to directly put the grenade on top of them. If you are not, it sometimes is a good idea to just destroy the covers. Yep. Don't care about Overwatch. I can acid bomb. So, yeah. So that's about the game. He will be dying from the exit. So GG. Yeah. So again, hide your units and don't use your guaranteed damage if it is not a kill, or it can destroy cover for all your remaining squad mates to shoot. Don't just randomly zap something that cannot bring it down to one shot health. 12 health officer is almost the same as 8 health officer, and a 2 health officer is the same as a 5 health officer, so don't waste your stuff on them. So okay, that's it about this episode, and thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in multiplayer.